Giddy up.
What's
All
up,
right,
boys?
Let's do this.
Let's party.
Happy Thursday, guys.
Happy Thursday. It's fucking cold outside. Jesus Christ.
Dude, it's windy as shit in Ocean City.
It ain't warm.
It's not. It is not warm.
Jesus.
Thanks. Let me check the temperature here. When I walked outside this morning, it was, nice.
Oh, yeah.
John Daly special. It was 14 degrees outside. Not good. Not fun.
14 degrees is not fun.
Not my favorite thing in the world. Nope.
Well, where I live, and you guys have obviously been to the house, and it's just as windy here, I'm assuming, Dusty, as it is in Ocean City. Probably windier where you are.
Yeah, it's
I live on the little street, the side street to me is called Chuck Street, and it's a fucking wind tunnel. So if there's a 10-mile-an-hour wind, it sounds like a 40-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
So I just told you I had to go drop a key off to a delivery driver. Well, while I'm doing that, I just see two of my couch cushions from my roof just fly off my roof and land out in the middle of the street. So I was like, all right, well, got to go get these.
Yeah, that's it's been crazy. Last night, like me and Brooks were talking before we went on live, you could hear the wind outside the window, and it's been like that a little bit this morning, but not quite as bad as last night. So it's supposed to be
That was rough. We were getting like 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts last night. It was howling.
It's nasty. I'll tell you what's good news though. I pulled up my DraftKings account to see the lines for this week, and I had a little bit more money in there than I did last time I checked. And so I had to look, and my Lamar and Derrick Henry to combine for over 2,000 rushing yards bet has already hit.
From the beginning of the season?
Yeah, I put like $10 on it. Or $20 on it. Anyway, won like $100
what was the
on that. So
what was the number on it?
I might have to check it.
Shout out to British Raven for watching over in England.
Hey, what up? Holy hell!
British Raven's the man. If you don't know who he is, he calls into the Ryan Ripken show quite a bit, and he is the man.
Yeah,
He is the absolute man. I'm trying to sync schedules with him to have him on the show here soon. But he's awesome.
Brian, to answer your question, the number was plus 350. I got it boosted to plus 460. So 25 paid 140.
All right.
It was, yeah, cool.
Like that.
Yeah. This means you're going to. You're buying Golden Corral for all of us later on. All right, that's what it sounds like.
I don't know that I've ever been to Golden Corral.
Nothing like going to Golden Corral, getting a steak, and going to get some dessert at the fecal fountain where they got that chocolate fondue thing. It looks like this turds are floating down. That's really fucking delicious.
Before we get into the NFL, how about that Terps basketball team, huh? Brooks, I see you got it on your headline there.
Turtles are back, baby.
Oh yeah,
Turtles are back. If they can play like that all season, that's a scary team. That's a scary team. I mean, Christ, they look like they learned how to play basketball again, like actually pushing the ball in transition and playing good defense. And it's nice to see balls go in the hoop this year, because last year, I mean, they shot so bad last year. It was almost like, was it because they shot so bad, or were they just like a shitty team? You know what I mean? But did they just have a bad year shooting all the way around? But,
it could be. It's hard to say with the first year Kevin Willard being there. Maybe he didn't have some of the guys with the pieces that he actually.
Last year was the second year, I believe. Right?
Last year was the second year.
Well, maybe I'm just gonna go shut the fuck up then, and just go over here and fuck myself in the corner. But
you could have.
Last year we looked like a bunch of clarinet players in the woodwind section of the marching band. We were unable to D up anybody, and we looked like we could just get bulldozed at any times. So either way, they look really good this year, and I love the movement of the team, the way they're actually moving the ball. We talked about this a couple podcasts ago. Just the actual movement around the court is great. It's not ISO ball. It's not Joe Johnson out there, ISO Joe. You're seeing a lot of good stuff, and you're seeing – I love the pick and roll stuff that you're seeing with Queen and even with Julian Reese, even though Reese has been more of a defender.
It's been really cool seeing them down in the paint. I mean, they just straight up dominated last night, those two down there. And I don't – there's nobody that can – I mean, I don't know who else. Maybe – I mean, we're going to have a good test with Purdue this week too, this weekend. That's going to tell us a lot about ourselves, I think. There's not many teams that I think are going to be able to hold up against those two. It's like who do you guard? I mean, and then when you're on defense, like if somebody needs help and that other guy comes in, it's just going to be SWAT City. And this Gillespie guy looks incredible.
He's the only guy on the team that can make any threes. It seems like last night, 7 out of 25 from threes, and he made 4 of them, 28%. So if they have a downfall, they still can't really shoot the three. Rodney Rice 0 for 6. And also bench
who's
point.
that number 6? Gaffney?
Ara, I think his name. Yeah. So he had 12 off the bench, and he's the only guy with points off the bench other than Deshaun Harris-Smith had 2 who played.
Dude, 20. He reminds me of Vince Carter. He jumps out the gym like he can shoot the 3.
Let's pump the brakes here.
I mean,
Vince Carter.
We haven't had a guy with that athleticism in a long time.
Since Steve Francis, probably.
Like he looks.
Well, Des Wells was that kind of guy, I guess.
Not as. I mean, he doesn't jump like this dude. Yeah.
I want to. But before we get any further, I want to give a shout out to Miss Colette and Tess Lawrence who are watching for the first time. I have a task today from Miss Colette to say a couple of choice words. So I'm going to say them throughout the duration of.
Are you saying her name correctly?
Colette, yes.
Is it Kelly? So. Is it Kelly?
No. It's not clarinet. So it's Joe Ragdon with Steve Blake, the old elbow right there, coming down the court.
Steve Blake was more of a scrappy player than he was a high flyer, but I mean that dude got shit done. He was great.
He'll lay the ball up with the best of them.
Oh yeah, he wasn't slamming them home a lot.
I just remember Wilcox. Wilcox could fly. He could, even though he was a big man, he could still jump.
Yeah, man, I wish he would have stayed another year. And speaking of staying another year, I really hope Derek Queen stays for longer than 1 year. But he does look super polished for how young he is, and I've said that a couple times. But 17 and 11 last night, like Brooks said, him and Reese are pretty dominant inside together. It's going to be tough for most of the Big Ten teams to match up against those guys. And we've seen Big Ten teams with big size have success. Purdue has been doing this for 5-10 years. They always outsize and out physical their opponents, and that really has led them to success in the Big Ten. So hopefully it leads Maryland.
These two guys are so much more athletic than those big guys that they've had too.
Yeah.
Well, Zach Edey didn't have to be athletic because he was just so large. But when Purdue, finally decided to win a national championship, like they just like pick and choose.
Yeah.
They had the 2 dominant big men inside, and when someone would really hunker down and get put a shell around them, they could kick it out to 2 shooters who could hit lights out. So you had the inside and outside game. Hopefully that's what Maryland has. I don't think it's anywhere close to what Purdue had last year. But hey, look, so far so good. I still think that might have been our best game yesterday. But if it's not our best game, then our best game is the loss to Marquette. So you're looking at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And like Brooks said, we got Purdue coming up later this week. So, I mean, we're going to be tested immediately at Purdue. It is, it is Sunday at noon.
Maybe I go to that game. Maybe I go into the jungle.
Yeah,
probably not.
How long of a drive is that?
It's like an hour.
That's not bad.
Actually, it's like 45, 50 minutes, actually, really.
You got a Hell in the Shell shirt you can wear or something?
Not anymore. I wish I did. I held on to that thing until it became paper thin and I had to throw it away.
Yeah.
Is it hard to get tickets to? I guess it's hard to get tickets now. They won a national championship. Is it hard to get tickets to a Purdue game?
Have they won a national championship?
Purdue, they just won last year.
Did they win last year?
No. 3 years ago, or they went to the national championship.
They went to. I don't think they won. Yeah, I was
my bad. They lost to UConn.
That's the big criticism from like the Purdue fans around here. It's like, we keep staying around the number 1 slot. We keep getting pretty close, but he can't win. He can't win the national championship.
UConn was a buzzsaw the last 2 years with Danny Hurley, who's a freaking maniac, by the way.
Yeah, by the way, they're out of the top 25. They've lost 3 games already.
No, they're number 25, right on the number. Yeah, but look, I understand that Danny Hurley is a maniac, and no one really cares when you're winning because winning is the best deodorant. But when you start losing, now everyone's like, this guy's crazy. Get him out of college basketball. Wrong. He's one of the best things college basketball has going because he's an absolute cartoon character. Yeah. And his head looks like it's about to pop off his body at any time, or he's going to grow a horn out of his ass.
Kansas lost last night, by the way. Number 1 Kansas lost to unranked Creighton. So a little bit of movement. I saw the Duke and Auburn game. I watched a lot of that game. Yeah. I mean, look, Duke is going to go as far as this Cooper Flag kid takes him. He leads them in points, rebounds, assists, and blocks. And he's a freshman. He's 17 years old.
Nice. And LeBron James, when he played against him in some sort of summer league thing, said that this kid could play in the NBA right now at 17.
Yeah. It's outrageous.
And when you get praise from LeBron James, who probably could have played in the league his senior year of high school.
Yeah.
That says a lot.
Probably could have played in the league his sophomore year in high school.
Yeah, good point. People forget that LeBron actually got popped by like high school athletics. He couldn't play like half his senior year because he took like a jersey or something like that, like an Ohio State jersey or.
Oh, did he really?
Driving a Hummer around, I think.
Or maybe it was a jersey and a Hummer, two different things. But he got some sort of illegal benefits, and they St. Mary's, St. Francis,
St. Mary's, St. Vincent is what it's called. St. Vincent.
Yeah, he got popped for the last part of his senior year, which sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everybody was. Who gives a shit at this point? He's like, whatever.
Tom Izzo said that he went to go scout him as like a sophomore or a junior, and he goes, "This kid isn't playing college basketball."
I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah. Anything you guys want to talk about baseball-wise before we get into football? Because I want to talk about the Deontay Johnson stuff, but first, let's talk about any baseball if you guys have anything. I saw Matt Boyd 2-year deal.
I want to. I don't have anything.
With the Red Sox.
I don't have anything baseball really related unless you guys want to touch on it. I mean, I've been paying attention so I can speak knowledgeably. I do before we get into NFL. Talk a little bit of college football and the playoff rankings that came out on Tuesday.
Yeah, let's do that now.
Okay, and I don't know if we're allowed to pull up what I sent you guys. I don't want to put us in any kind of pinch. So
we'll try it.
I can just talk.
We'll give it a shot.
If you want to pull it up, basically this is my That's a Shame, even though we only do a That's a Shame segment earlier in the week. The College Football Committee and the playoff and what the College Football Playoff Committee does and the way they describe things is absolutely atrocious. And I want you to hear this explanation to a question around 2 minutes of this interview. This guy is just spewing word salad. I mean, he basically doesn't answer a question and basically says that if you've already played all your games, you're going to stay exactly where you are, which is absolutely ridiculous for teams that then have to play conference championship games. Congratulations on making it to a conference championship. If you lose that conference championship game, you have to play an extra game because you were good and you did your job. You might actually, if you lose, get booted out of the playoff. So if you want to play that, this guy also looks like he's gravy.
He's the head of the committee too.
Yes, he is.
The way you're moving him around, you're making him one of those Goombas from Mario.
I'm trying to do my best here not to get striked here. I don't know if I can get sound. Let me see.
If the volume doesn't play, don't even worry about it. I'm not trying to waste anyone's time.
Well, I just want to see if I can get it to work, but I don't know if I can or not. Let's see.
Technology is fun.
It's a blast. Basically, he's saying that if you play in a conference championship game, we're going to continue to evaluate you. Yeah, don't worry about it, bro. See, it's all good, man.
Just give us a little clip.
We'll do it later.
Yeah, Cliff Notes version is simplistic. It's if you play in a conference championship game, you can still have some movement and maybe get booted out. And that's what like Ole Miss and Miami are hoping for now with some of these teams that are on the fringe but are playing in conference championship games. But some teams that are playing in conference championship games are already locked in because they have no losses, one loss. They're not going to get booted out. But there are teams that may actually lose their spot.
Yep.
So a team that's stagnant could move in, but a team that's playing because they actually did their job could get bumped out. This is a sham, and this guy just gets complete word salad. Yep, it's an entertainment game. Did Alabama get in because Alabama is better than Miami, or is it because they're Alabama? And the answer is without a doubt the latter. It's because they are Alabama. And this guy, word salad. He wants some soup with that fucking salad. He does not answer the question whatsoever. He's the epitome of Derek Jeter. He'll give you about 17 sentences and never answer your question. It's a bunch of trash. There are certain teams, and I'm not a Miami fan. I'm not mad that Miami didn't get in. But what I'm going to be mad about is when there's a team that's absolutely 100% deserving to be in this playoff, and they get completely shut out. And who was that? It was at Florida State last year, and the only reason Florida State didn't make it in is because their quarterback got hurt. They went undefeated. Now, should they have been in because the quarterback was hurt? Most likely not. But it's still a shame that you have these kids work their ass off. As a coach, how do you go to your team and say, you did everything I asked you to do, and you did it to the best of your ability? You chased perfection, and in the process, you found excellence. And then you don't get the reward at the end. That's bullshit. It's
so
like
you
your entire high school career and not being able to go to senior prom.
So this is a good argument. So you would rather it be based on just record in general and not mattering who you played against at all, your strength of schedule at all. This is kind of
No, he's not saying that.
That's kind of how it sounds.
What he's saying is that the committee should make the list right now and not use these conference championship games. Like, say, for instance, SMU, who's number 8 right now, loses to Clemson in the ACC championship game. They might fall out of the rankings. Brian's saying that that's not fair because SMU, if they were in an unlucky position to have to play in this game, they would already be in because they're 11-1.
Now, and Brooks,
Indiana isn't playing this week.
Brooks, before you comment, because I know where you're going, and I
get what you're saying. I want
to qualify because this could open up Pandora's box. I don't want to do that. College football needs a scheduler. They don't need the teams making their schedules 7 or 8 years in advance, which some of these schools do. How do you know Indiana is actually going to be worth a damn in 7 or 8 years? How do you know if Alabama is going to be worth a damn in 7 or 8 years? Teams that scheduled Miami 7 years ago thought that Miami was going to be fucking decent. All right. Now, this year they were, but the years prior, they were awful.
Mm-hmm.
People thought Florida State was going to be really good this year. How'd you know that 8 years ago?
Yeah. It's kind of like you're handcuffed by your strength of schedule, but you can't do anything about it either, right?
Yeah.
You can't predict the future.
College football needs a scheduler. They need someone to make a schedule year by year.
So right now, the Power 5, or is it the 4 conferences, have an automatic bid? 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And the other ones are basically at large.
Yeah.
And I think this was the argument to go to 14 to make every conference champion get in no matter what, which I am for, right? Mm-hmm. If you win your conference championship, you should be rewarded in some way, right? You can't sit here like what Brian's saying. You can't sit here and be like, all right, you're a coach and you go to your team like, all right, we just won everything I asked you to win. We won the championship and now we can't even compete for the national championship. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I just think if you're going to start expanding this, you have to give them the right to play in it. Are they the best teams? No, but that's the reason why you expand it, because you have those at large. Like, all right, obviously Alabama's probably still a top 12 team, top 10 team in the country. So they're going to get in just based on whatever that conference is just astronomically good. And just, I think that's why 14 might be the right number, but then we're going to get into like there's always going to be an argument, right? At the end, there's always going to be somebody pissed off. So,
and like people are clamoring, like, I don't want to see, you hear this from the pundits. I don't want to see Boise State playing these games.
I do.
Let me tell you something. If these same pundits probably don't know who the fuck Boise State lost to this year. They have one loss. They lost to Oregon, 37-34. All right, they lost to the number 1 team in the fucking country by a field goal. So you're telling me Boise State, just because they're not a big name and they have a blue field? I mean, screw you.
But the draw is there.
History of college football
that's what I mean, and that's your draw right there. You get to watch like this Heisman guy that's not on national television ever. Nobody's really seen him except for if you're going to go turn it on and go look for it, right? They're not going to be playing as like the marquee game of the day, obviously. So if he gets into the playoffs, the whole world gets to see this Genty guy, right? And then you get to see Genty play against, like, I know he played against Oregon, but like, let's go run him against an SEC team. Like, let's go see if he can run against those boys.
Yeah.
I think that'd be fun. And he's going to be a top 3, if not win the Heisman. So.
No, the Heisman's over. And this is what college football wants. College football, the point of this 12-team and soon to be 14-team playoff, you're looking for mainstream airtime. All right, the Heisman Trophy is over. It's going to Travis Hunter. No one's going to give a shit whatsoever about Heisman stuff. It's going to Travis Hunter. No one cares anymore. You want to be talked about. And now you have 12 teams, and realistically, probably about 15 teams that you can talk about, because you're going to talk about the 3 teams that are going to get snubbed. And now you have a bunch of, all these stupid debate shows that Stephen A. Smith can, have steam come out of his ears and shit. You want this. This is what baseball's doing with this stupid golden batter rule shit. You want to be talked about.
Good transition here. Let's just talk about this, because this way we can make our announcement for everybody watching. We're going to do a show with Pigtown here next Wednesday, a winter meeting show. Officially, that's going to be next Wednesday at 1:30 or 2 o'clock, somewhere in there. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. That should be a good one. And hopefully we'll have some news coming out by then. I mean, they say Soto's not supposed to get through the week, not supposed to get to the winter meetings without signing somewhere, but we'll see if that's true or not.
Yeah, and for those of you that watch, Pigtown's got he's just a bit of knowledge with this stuff. And obviously, we're all baseball guys. We're all smart in our own right, but I think he's got more knowledge than three of us combined. So he's gonna kill it. And then once Soto drops, I was talking to Sean Barletta yesterday about this. He really thinks Sean Barletta really thinks it's gonna be a cascade effect of, all right, that's going to open the floodgates. You're going to see Santana go pretty quickly to either a West Coast team or one of the heavy hitters that didn't get Soto. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
We'll save some of that and our opinions on that for that show, because there's going to be a ton of stuff. But we could talk about the Golden at Bat thing, since this is a hot topic right now. And I'll give you my opinion on it. It's Mickey Mouse. It seems like a backyard wiffle ball game. If you're going to do this, it's not going to happen, right? This is something.
This is a good idea. Do it in the All-Star game.
Perfect, Joe. Perfect.
Go ahead.
Yeah, right.
We're not doing this in the MLB. This is ridiculous.
But if you do this in the All-Star game, who's it going to be, right? I mean, who's going to take the Golden at Bat?
Otani or Judge? I don't know.
They're all fucking All-Stars. But yeah, it's something I could see this going down to the independent ball league and trying it out there and having some fun with it there. But I don't blame Manfred for trying to get, he has us, right? We're avid baseball fans. He has us. We're not going anywhere. If anything, this would lose our attention.
Yeah.
He's trying to bring in people who don't have the attention, where baseball doesn't have their attention.
Yeah.
And I get it. And he's throwing shit out there. He's throwing shit at the wall just to see if it'll stick. And I don't mind it. The more troubling thing was that it was getting traction, and I don't think that's true, to be honest with you. I think that was a false head. I just don't see that happening.
It's just one of those things. They're trying to get a baseball headline in the offseason. And if for you guys who aren't familiar with what this is,
which is fair.
Golden at Bat.
Yeah, go ahead and explain the Golden at Bat rule.
Throwing around. Yeah, it would be basically one-time use anytime in the game. You can substitute whoever's hitting right now for anybody you want. So let's say it's the bottom of the ninth and our 9-hole hitter's up, and we can just put Gunnar Henderson up the bat instead of the 9-hole hitter. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. Apparently it was brought up. It's been brought up since 2003, according to David Sampson. That's from Joe Radke. I mean, that's outrageous. I've never heard anything like it. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think we're going to have to worry about this being an actual thing that happens. I think it's just baseball trying to get tractions going into the winter meetings.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good PR play.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to that, because like I said, I just don't think it's happening, and it's ridiculous, and I think it would be a shame for the game if it happened. Yeah, I mean, going back to just college football real quick, look, if you're Miami, your defense is one of the worst defenses I've ever seen in my life. It's like watching the Bengals try to play defense. And if you're Ole Miss and you're complaining that you're number 13 and Alabama's ahead of you, I don't know, maybe you should have just beaten fucking Florida. It's not that hard. You're 9-3. You've lost 3 games. You shouldn't be in the playoffs. And I know there's going to be a 3-loss team that gets into the playoffs, but it's just not. I don't know. Perform better and you'll get in. 12 teams. Last year you wouldn't even have had a sniff at the playoffs, so shut up.
Yeah, and look, I don't want to sit here and I sound like a get off my lawn guy. Look, Miami, you want to be in the playoffs, beat Syracuse. Syracuse is an 8-win team. We get it. Yeah. I mean, they were 8-win team either going into the game or now they have 8 wins. But
I don't even know if they get in if they're a 14 team, if there's a 14 team playoff, to be honest with you. I mean, if we want to go there.
Yeah, I don't want to go there. I don't want to go hypotheticals. I just know if they won that game, they're in the playoff. They cost themselves.
It would be fun, especially as an NFL fan, to see Cam Ward play in the playoffs, especially against some of these really good defenses, because he does project to be one of the top quarterbacks taken off the board. But look, their defense is atrocious. They're going to get trounced by any of these teams in the playoffs who have a decent offense. They're just going to put 45 up, and Cam Ward's just going to have to go play outrageous, which he's had to do all year.
But I mean,
we stank.
See, I hate when people say shit like that because that's what everyone said about Boise State when they're playing Oklahoma and Adrian Peterson. And then they're running Jared Zabransky and I think Ian Johnson. But they're doing the Statue of Liberty play. I remember where I was when Boise State beat Oklahoma.
Kellen Moore?
No. It was Jared Zabransky and Ian Johnson, I believe, were the names. This is why I can't remember my social security number, but I can remember this stupid shit.
Yeah.
And then he proposed to his girlfriend, who was a cheerleader, on the sideline after running in the biggest touchdown of his life.
Could you imagine if she said no?
It would have been, everyone would have remembered it.
Man, he really put her in a bad spot. If she didn't want to do it.
Oh man! Speaking of Boise State, what I can't say the running back's name. Brooks or Dusty, help me out.
Ashton Genty.
All right,
Jaunty.
I saw perfect. I saw a stat today that says he has more yards after contact rushing than any other running back has rushing throughout college football.
I mean, he's crazy. His stats are outrageous. Look at him if you haven't seen him. He's averaging like 175 yards a game. If he doesn't have 200 yards in the game, it's like it's an off day. It's crazy.
Now, I haven't watched the Boise State game. I don't know if you guys have. Is this a product of his line? Is this a product of line plus his talent? Or is this a product of just his talent? I don't know.
They're a good team, and they play in I would say, one of the weaker. I mean, the Mountain West is okay. But they're not playing against an SEC type schedule, but they're a good team in that, especially in that conference. And yeah, they pound the rock. They give him 30 carries a game, and he's just a stud.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway,
hey, this is the most college football we talked all year.
Yeah,
I think Joe.
We're starting to get into the heat of it. So
yeah, I think Joe Rackey might have broken axle. We're talking so much college football, but we haven't mentioned Arkansas yet.
Yeah.
Well, I think Joe would even say that Arkansas is a long shot at this point.
Yeah. Anyway.
I got Joe's cowboy hat. I got Joe's cowboy hat right here. Hold
on. Oh.
Joe's cowboy hat.
There's no way the headphones go.
Yeehaw, Joe.
Thing. Oh, the headphones work over that thing. Oh, yeah.
Howdy, mate.
Yeah.
Did you have strippers over last night or something? Where did you get that?
All right, let's move on. Let's get into our NFL preview. Let's talk some Week 14. We got a really, really good Thursday night game this week. Tonight, Jared Goofball leading the best team in the league, according to me, the Detroit Lions against Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers. The game is in Detroit. Joe says he used to sell those dumb hats. That's great. Anyway, the game
maybe you got one to Brittany Girl Dale while you're here. wonder if he remembers Brittany Girl Dale or if she was around while he was here.
Yeah,
that's a story for another time. We'll explain it later.
That's an old.
I don't know where we're going with that one.
Anyway, Detroit Lions hosting Green Bay. The line is 3.5. Brooks, you want to get those lines up on the screen. While he does that, Jared Goff has been interception free in 8 of his last 9 games. Of course, the game that he was not interception free, he threw 5 interceptions. Green Bay is 7-1 straight up in its last 8 games, but just 4-4 against the spread. And the Packers are also 0-3 against the spread in their divisional games thus far this season. So there's just a couple little stats for you as we preview this game.
Yeah,
3.5, over-under is 51.5. Where do you think? Do we like the line where it is? Do we think that over-under is a little too high, or do we think it's just about right, Brian?
I think it's just about right. I like everything about this line. I think Vegas got it spot on, both the over-unders and the spread. If you're asking my opinion for the pick, the hook scares me. The hook does scare me. But with that being said, I am going Packers.
Wow. All right.
Ooh,
GB.
okay.
Starting with the GBs. I'm just going to let you pick first and just follow you this week.
Oh, yeah. What happened last week? What did we do? What were the numbers?
It was classic stuff for me. I was 6-9. Our dad was 7-8. Brooks was 7-8, and you were 8-7.
Yeah, you were the winner of last week.
If you haven't seen it, we put out the season-long standings on our Instagram page. I am 14 games below 500, I think, or 15, maybe 20. Who knows? And Brian and Brooks are actually both well above 500. So
we gotta work. It's pretty neck and neck between me and him right now.
Yeah,
I told you my methodology is killer. I bet on I take teams based on how ugly the quarterback is. Like Spencer Rattler is hideous, so you never bet for the Saints. What else?
Did you bet on them last week?
I don't remember.
He's not playing anymore.
He's still on the team. He's still on the team. He's very ugly.
Anyway, so Brian's going with Green Bay. Brooks, what do you got on this one?
I'm going to keep riding Detroit. I'm going to ride it till the wheels fall off.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not in love with this Green Bay team. I think their defense comes to play here, though, a little bit. I think the 51.5 is way too high. I think this will be a lower scoring game than that. But I'm gonna stick with Detroit as well. Like I said, I think that they're the best team in the NFL, and I just don't think Jordan Love has played that good this year, and I don't think he's going to be able to get away with that against a team this good. But I suck at this, so like my headline says, just fade me.
I don't know exactly what that means, by the way.
What do you mean?
What does this fade you mean? Like, don't listen
Bet
to
the opposite.
Fade me means bet the opposite.
Okay.
Yeah.
This tells you how much I gamble. I don't.
Brooks, what's the next game on the board? Because obviously it's not going to be the same as what we have in our notes here. Okay. Carolina and the Eagles. 12.5 is the spread here. 46 is the over-under. Carolina has looked pretty good the last couple of weeks. They've been hanging with some teams, but the Eagles have been absolutely whooping everyone. I think they've won 8 or 9 straight, something like that. They're 8-game win streak. Carolina's 1-2 as a double-digit dog, but they've covered each of their last 4 games. What do we have on this, Brooks? Let's go to you first.
Man, I don't like this line at all. Too high. But give me. I mean, after what we just saw with the Eagles, you know what? I'm gonna take Carolina to cover. Too many points. I'm sick of. I can't keep betting the over in these over 10 spreads. So give me Carolina to cover. They're playing well. I mean, I still think they'll possibly get blown out, but
Brian,
give me the Panthers at 12.5. I think the Eagles win by probably 10, but 12.5 is a big number.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a big number, but I gotta at this
point see a backdoor cover.
At this point in the season, I gotta just play to try to catch up. So I'm gonna play devil's advocate here and take Philly. I mean, I don't know. I think Saquon could run for 800 yards in this game. That's all I got on that game. We'll move on to Raiders Bucks. Raiders are getting 6.5 points going on the road to Tampa Bay, who's been pretty good recently. And they got Mike Evans back. Bucky Irving's looked great. Rashad White has looked great. Cade Otton has looked pretty good. I mean, the only thing that scares me off of Tampa in this game is that I really do think Brock Bowers has been the best tight end in the league this year as a rookie. So that scares me a little bit. They had a chance to beat the Chiefs last week, but I think they're going to have a little bit of a letdown after that. I think they kind of put a lot into that game, and I just don't think they're a very good team. So I'm going to take Tampa here, and then I'll let Brooks go, and then Brian, you round us out here.
Yep. Give me Tampa to cover at home.
Got it.
All right,
Brian.
And you went. Who'd you go with, Dusty?
We both took Tampa.
Okay, so this is going to be a 5-person team ride. All right, and I'll explain. Miss Colette and Tess Lawrence have made this pick for me via my phone. And they say, take the Bucks, never look back. I'm completely ad-libbing here because this is not what they said. But they did say take the Bucks. And they have no idea what the hell they're picking. They have no idea what the spread is, but they said take the
Bucks. They're going to win.
And that's exactly my methodology, Tess and Colette. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing the majority of the time, even though I know sports. I just bet with the lack of brain cells I have, and I win. So let's go.
Who would win in a real fight, a Buccaneer or a Raider?
Ooh, you know,
they're pretty much the same thing, right?
They really are.
Who's Pirates?
I'm gonna take the Raiders because I think Al Davis might come out of the dead and just start slicing people up.
Like the corpse of Al Davis just comes out of the ground.
Yeah, he's like that guy, like the dudes
Like the
from
dude from Hocus
Pirates of the
Pocus.
Caribbean.
Oh yeah, there you go.
They're like ghosts. You
That
can't
makes a
kill
lot
them.
more sense than Hocus Pocus. Anyway, what's the next game? What's that guy's name? Billy.
Billy.
I don't know why I know that. His mouth is sewn.
I mean, it was just October.
If you would have told me a Hocus Pocus reference was getting dropped during our football picks, I'd told you you're fucking crazy.
In December.
Dude, there was a game called Backyard Football back in the day. You guys remember the Backyard Sports, and there was one of the special plays was called Hocus Pocus, and your receiver would disappear and then reappear in the end zone, and you could just throw it to him.
You need a life, dude.
I know. It's been a long time. That was like 20 years ago. Anyway, Brooks, what's the next game? All right, Cleveland and Pittsburgh. We got a little AFC North rivalry game here. 6.5. The Fighting Jameis Winstons are getting against Pittsburgh at formerly Heinz, now Acrisure Field.
What a terrible fucking name.
Still think French's missed the opportunity of a lifetime there. I mean, it just could have gone straight from Heinz to French's.
Now, is French's owned by Heinz? Is another question.
I don't think so. Heinz makes mustard. I don't think they would compete against themselves, would they?
I don't know.
Anyway, Jameis Winston gave us the full experience on Monday night.
Oh, deliver me from pick sixes. Deliver me from pick sixes.
500 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, threw a touchdown in each quarter, which is a crazy bet. I think somebody hit. I saw online. And threw 3 interceptions, 2 of them pick sixes, 1 of them in the end zone to seal the game. What an absolute insane game that was. I watched every minute of it because I had 3 people at the bar the whole night on Monday because it's December in Ocean City and it's real slow. And I stayed open and I watched the whole game and it was awesome. I don't know what to make of this matchup because Cleveland played so well against Denver's stout defense last week. I would have thought that Pittsburgh would be able to handle Jameis, but the way the Browns played last week tells me otherwise. What do you guys think on this one?
I'm going to take the Browns to cover here. I don't think they'll win, but I mean, we saw them give us a gift before, but give me the Browns to cover. I don't think they'll win though.
I'm taking the Browns to cover. I like what I'm seeing out of the Browns, and it looks like they're just they're rejuvenized by Jameis Winston. Like hell yeah, and he is the gift that keeps on giving. That man has to talk to himself a ton when he's off camera. Yeah. I mean, and I don't want to pull it up because I don't want to get in any trouble with the NFL. But when they do that quarterback thing, where it's like the stat lines are going down, and you got Bo Nix standing there, and he's like flexing the football, rubbing it like he's rubbing a clarinet or something like that, or one of those recorders we all had to play when we were in elementary school. By the way, whoever made you play the recorder? Why was the recorder there's your right turn from the left-hand lane segment?
Good question.
Why was the recorder the instrument we all had to play? But anyway, Bo Nix is over there rubbing the football, and Jameis Winston's like tossing it back and forth, and he's doing the W. Like,
yeah,
he is the gift that keeps on giving.
National treasure.
He really is. He's so fun. I mean, he's ridiculous, but it's like you can't even. If you don't know the guy and you turn on like to watch football and he shows up, you're like, this guy's a clown. But everybody knows who he is at this point. And he's just hysterical, man. Like I just laugh every time. Like, and his answers make zero fucking sense to the question most of the time. So it's just he cracks me up, man. If he's not the starter there next year, like please have him be the starter somewhere else. Go to the Raiders or something. Like, I need to see him interviewed more.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I love every minute of Jameis Winston being on my screen, whether it's on the football field or on the mic. He's amazing, and after he's done his playing career, he's going to be an awesome sports media guy if he wants to. We saw this matchup a couple weeks ago on Thursday night in that weird snow game, and the Browns actually got the better of Pittsburgh in that one. I don't think that happens twice in a row. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. They're clearly the better team. I believe they have the better coach. I did want to kind of ride Cleveland, but because you guys both picked them, and because they had already beaten the Steelers just a couple of weeks ago, I think that the Steelers are going to come back here.
One thing I want to bring up that I keep forgetting to bring up, and we've talked about how, and I think everybody talks about how they think Stefanski's such a great coach. Yeah. And this kind of isn't his fault, basically. We forget that he sent Baker Mayfield out there with basically no shoulder and to have him throw the ball like 60 times in a game to run him out of town. That was bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of the most egregious coaching things I've ever seen in my life.
Correct.
Well, I'm sure that Baker was saying, "I'm good. I can play. I can play." You know.
The way he was literally shaking his head during the game. Like, what are we doing? That was, I don't know. I can't have any faith in Stefanski after I saw that. So, I mean,
But
I just I had to get. Well, yeah, I'm taking them to cover.
Yeah.
But I just like I can't sit here and listen to people say how great of a coach he is when that shit happened and basically almost. I mean, he could have ruined Baker's career right there.
Part of a coach's job is also to police your players, for better or for worse. So take that statement for whatever it is worth, because
I mean, the guy couldn't.
He looked. I remember the game, Brooks. He was in pain. You could blatantly see he was in pain, and that's where a coach goes, "All right, you know what? Let's step aside and let's bring in the backup."
Or maybe let's just hand the ball off. Don't have him throw the ball 60 times. Like that was. It was literally like he was trying to make his case to get Baker out of town.
Yeah.
And I'll never forgive the guy for that. I just had to get that off my chest.
Okay.
Anyway, it is winding up a storm. I can hear the wind outside of my window, which is awesome. Next game, Kirk Cousins revenge game. Atlanta Falcons going to Minnesota. Atlanta Falcons catching 6 points in this game, which is definitely not what this line would have been a couple weeks ago. Based on how the Falcons have played the last couple of weeks, I guess Vegas is adjusting. Minnesota's been one of the better defenses in the league this year. Atlanta is floundering, and there's been some Penix buzz already, which I did not expect this early on into Kirk Cousins' $180 million contract. But, I mean, look, he's looked bad. What do we think about this game? Brian, let's go to you first.
I'm going to go with the Falcons here. I think this is a game where Kirk Cousins just ends up throwing 500 yards, four touchdowns, and Bijan Robinson has a big game out of the backfield, but by catching passes, not by running.
Okay. All right.
Give me the Vikings by 20.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins is playing that bad right now. He literally cannot find a receiver. It seems like can't find anybody wearing black and red. So, give me the Vikings just because I think Kurt's playing that bad right now.
Okay.
I tend to agree with you, Brooks. I do think Minnesota's the better team here, but I just think they're due for a stumble, and Atlanta desperately needs a win. I don't know if they'll win the game, but I think they'll cover. I think this one's going to be close, so give me Atlanta plus the points. Next game, Jets-Dolphins. Do we even need to talk about it?
No.
This game's going to suck.
Make your pick and move on.
Yeah. This game's going to suck. I'll take the Dolphins. The Jets suck.
Yeah, give me the Dolphins to cover.
I'll take the guy who wears a lei at quarterback. Give me the Dolphins.
That's a team ride on the Dolphins there.
Mm-hmm.
We like the Florida teams. We'll see if we like Jacksonville too. But New Orleans and the Saints, New Orleans is the Saints. New Orleans and the Giants is the next game.
Finkel is Einhorn, and Einhorn is
Giants.
Finkel.
Giants are getting 4.5 at home. I mean, can somebody explain to me why the Saints are favored by 4.5 on the road? Has this team really proven to you that they're good enough to be favored by 4.5 on the road against an NFL caliber team? I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't like Drew Lock at all, but I'm taking the Giants plus points at home. I think this line's stupid.
This is organizational tanking. The Giants will find a way to lose this game intentionally. Give me the Saints.
All right.
Yeah. I'm in agreement with Brian. I'm with New Orleans as well.
Fair enough. That game. Oh, this is a game that I plan on watching 0 minutes of. Zero. I don't want to see it on the red zone. I don't think it should be on the red zone.
Live change right there. We got rid of the hook.
There we go. We got rid of the hook. Trevor Lawrence was placed on IR. He is probably effectively out for the season after the hit he took from Azeez Al-Shaair, who got suspended for 3 games, by the way. And the NFL has upheld it after his appeal, so he will be out for the next 3 games.
When did that news come out? When did the upholding of the suspension come out?
This morning, I believe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look, I don't have a ton on this. I think that both of these teams are complete ass, but I'm not betting on Mac Jones ever. So give me Will Levis -3. Yuck.
Yeah, give me the Jags.
I'm taking the Jags because they have a better defense. This is the worst game of the year. This is the worst game of the year.
Dude, this is an ugly game.
I'd rather take Aaron Rodgers to dinner. And what did I say the other day? I'd rather take the Menendez brothers to dinner than Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. But anyway. All right, we'll move on to the 4 o'clocks here. This is a really interesting game, a rematch of a game we saw last week, 2 weeks ago? Not last week, 2 weeks ago. Yeah, Seattle wins this game. They really could run away with this division.
This line is fishy.
Yeah. I mean, look, it's kind of the NFC West. 2.5 is the new 3, so they're just saying Arizona's at home. They're just going to give them 2.5. I don't know. Seattle's been playing better, but they're scary. I don't love either of these. You guys go ahead. Brooks, you go first. I've been going first every time.
Give me the Seahawks.
All right. Brooks likes the Seahawks. Brian, what do you like?
I'm eating my little cheese tray here. So
got charcuterie board, homemade charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
You can thank Veggie Trays for that.
I get the Fighting Foreheads versus the Little Eggs Lego Boys. I'm gonna. The only reason I'm taking the Seahawks here is not because of the quarterback play. The reason I'm taking the Seahawks here is because Arizona has one of the best receivers, one of the best rookie receivers I've seen in a very long time, Marvin Harrison Jr. But also the Seattle Seahawks, one of the best corners I've seen come out of the draft in a very long time, in Devin Witherspoon. Witherspoon's going to be all over Marvin Harrison. I think he negates him. And at that point, Arizona is going to rely on Little Leg McGee, who plays video games like Dusty does and has the ghost player. So I would take the Fighting Foreheads. Give me the Seattle Seahawks.
I like Seattle. I think they're a little bit better of a team, but I'm going to take the home team here, and I'm going to fade you guys. I'm going to take Arizona. And this is just because I think this division stays close throughout the duration of the season. And if Seattle wins this game, for all intents and purposes, it's pretty much over in the NFC West. Next game, another NFC West team, Buffalo and the Rams. This game is kind of flip-flopped between 3.5 and 4 a lot. It was at 3.5, and then I changed it to 4 right before the pod, and now it's 3.5 again. Anyway, Brian, what do you think about – you're eating. Let's let Brooks go first. Brooks, what do you think about this game? Do we think this line's a little too low?
I do, which scares me. I mean, It makes me want to take Buffalo, and I think that's what Vegas wants you to do, to be honest with you. So give me the Rams.
Yep. This is my favorite game of the week. This is not my favorite game of the week. I'm taking the Rams all day.
Okay. I think Buffalo has been the best team in the AFC this year. I think Josh Allen is the clear MVP. I think that Matt Stafford has been running for his life. The Bills get Matt Milano back last week. They get Micah Hyde back, who says he's going to retire at the end of the season. He just signed as a free agent with them, I believe. I think Buffalo runs away with this game. I don't think the Rams even compete. I don't know what you guys are thinking. I'm going opposite. But
I could definitely see that happening, but I'm just kind of going against Vegas right now because it seems like they want us to take Buffalo.
Yeah, and I'm falling right into their trap, and I know it. I'm taking a road favorite, and it's going east to west. Sunday night football, last game before Sunday night football. Thank God this is not the Sunday night football game because this game's going to suck. San Francisco has 33 total Pro Bowls, and I think they've missed like 30, or they have something like 11 Pro Bowlers on the team, and I think 8 of them have missed at least 3 or 4 of their games this year. They're just completely battered. McCaffrey and Jordan Mason both on IR. We're going to rely on Isaac Garendo to be running the ball and some guys we've never heard of. Versus a Chicago team who's lost 6 games in a row and absolutely punted.
Trent Williams back?
I don't know if Trent Williams is back. I will find out. But what I do want to say is first, or do we get the fired coach bump for Chicago here, or do we just stick with Shanahan? And I don't know. Brian, you look like you have a thought on that.
Fired coach bump. Give it the Bears.
Yeah, I'm riding with Brian here as well. Give me the fire coach bump. And honestly, Caleb Williams has been playing decent the last couple weeks. So I'm gonna. Do I think they'll win? Probably not. But I think this is going to be a pretty close game. And it just seems like the Niners are flat. The Niners feel like the Orioles of this year. They're just riddled with injuries. So at some point, it's going to take a toll mentally on them, and they're just going to be like, "What the hell are we supposed to do?"
Neither Nick Bosa nor Trent Williams practiced yesterday. Also, Trent Williams, shout out to him. Him and his wife announced that they had a stillborn son just like a week ago or maybe a couple weeks ago. So really, like thoughts and prayers out to their family. That's just terrible news. But neither of them practiced on Wednesday between Bosa and Williams. But anyway, I mean, I know, sorry to get somber there, but, something you got to mention because that's something that happens. It's a real thing. You guys both took Chicago. I'm just going to go against you here because I'm trying to make up ground. I'm taking San Fran. And we will move on to the night game, which is, I think, going to be pretty awesome. I hope. Sunday Night Football, Chargers, Chiefs. I remember a vicious Phil Rivers comeback on the Chiefs in a Sunday Night Football game that won me quite a bit of money. I don't really know what's going on with Kansas City. They look like shit in the last 2 weeks against two of what I think are two of the worst teams in the NFL in Vegas and Carolina. The Chargers have looked a lot better than them recently. At some point, Kansas City's got to fall. And I think the Chargers defense is pretty good. Give me the Chargers. I'm going with Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chargers as well. I think this is the one where the Chiefs get bit. And Harbaugh he's gonna game plan the shit out of this, to be honest with you, and he's gonna stay very disciplined against them. So I don't see them doing something stupid to cost them the game. Hopefully,
that plus 180 money line is tasty.
Yeah, give me the fighting Harbaughs.
Bri?
Chiefs.
Oh, God.
The Chiefs is still the Chiefs, but they cannot freaking cover to save their life.
No, they can't. I think Los Angeles wins this game outright. I think they're I just think they're doing. Also, they just really need the game a lot more than Kansas City does at this point. So
I got backdoor cover written all over this. It's got a Justin Herbert. Trying to do too much at the end. Pick six. See you.
Okay, that's fair. All right, Monday Night Football can't be flexed. Wish it could. This game sucks. I think at the very least it's going to be entertaining because both of these defenses are really bad. Although Dallas's defense has played well over the course of the last couple of weeks. Brian didn't have Joe pick a game this week, so I'm assuming Joe's going to be picking this Monday Night Football.
Joe, you're picking
Brian.
Thank you.
Celebrity Joe pick as we do weekly.
I ate my plate and I forgot. I'm sorry, man. I'm eating a bunch of cheese.
Are you eating off a Frisbee?
Kind of does look like a Frisbee.
Cincinnati's 5.5-point favorites in Dallas. I'm just going to go ahead first here. I think it's too many points. Give me Dallas plus 5.5. Cincinnati's defense is horrible.
Yeah, I got to ride with you on this one. I could also see them winning by fucking 14 here because their offense is so good.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I'm with you, Dusty. I think the Cowboys cover. I don't think they win, but I think they cover.
Joe, what you got, baby?
While Joe's making his pick here, he says, well, there you go. Never mind. He says Cincinnati, don't take the Cowboys ever. He doesn't like the Cowboys. Well, not a lot of people do.
Dusty, you brought me down for Cincinnati. What are you doing?
Huh? Oh, shit. Sorry. You took Dallas. My bad.
Joe and I think alike. I would have taken the Bengals here.
Something I do want to say here, Cincinnati has scored 99 points combined in their last 3 games, and they have lost all 3.
Good.
Probably by a combined score of like 7.
All 3. They've set several records for most points scored by a team with a bad record. Like, their defense is historically bad. And I don't think they should be 5.5-point favorites on the road. I just don't. Not with that defense.
Yeah, that's really the only reason.
Yeah,
but
and that's our slate.
Also, Cowboys don't have a freaking offense. So
yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so we picked all the games. It's Ravens bye week, but we did have a little bit of Ravens news. This Deontay Johnson stuff we got to talk about a little bit. I mean, look, somebody got hurt or somebody had to come out for a play. They asked Deontay Johnson to go in. He basically said no. I heard reports that Lamar was at his locker 10 or 15 minutes before the game trying to hype him up. John Harbaugh went over, tried to talk to him. He's pissed off. He's in a contract year. But look, you're not going to get a contract in the NFL doing shit like this, brother. I think that guy, I honestly, I'm pissed that he got suspended and was not cut immediately. We traded nothing for him. He was a flyer. I don't think he should be off the team. There's no room for this kind of shit on an NFL field.
I actually don't think he's on the team the next game. I think they're doing a suspension here and in hopes that we'll see what the next week brings in terms of like, does it seem like he's in? Have the players fucking wrangled him to be like, hey, get your shit together? And if it doesn't seem like anything's changing, I think they just cut him. But if he does seem like he's turning stuff around, he feels like he's motivated and all in for the team, then that's when I think we would keep him. But I think that's why they did the suspension. It's like, all right, let's see. And I mean, if he doesn't get his shit together, he doesn't act like he cares, then he's going to get cut. So
this is career suicide. This is career self-sabotage. When the Ravens and the Steelers, who are two very well-run organizations, who have a track record, basically turning people around a little bit. If those two teams don't want you anymore, you have a major problem. This strikes me as something that, if you remember Ronaldo McClain, when the Ravens picked him up.
Rolando
McClain.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an absolute trash box.
God, I forgot about that guy.
Well, good, because he should have. And I think he's forgot about himself as well. This strikes me as another one of those situations. I hope it's not as bad because Rolando McClain ended up getting arrested for gun charges, things of that nature, and doing some really stupid stuff off the field. Right now, this seems like a guy who's very, he has no wherewithal for how his next contract is going to play out. If you were a team, I wouldn't touch this guy. He's going to end up playing in the CFL. I mean, good luck to you, my man. But the Ravens are doing what they're supposed to do. They're going to suspend him. You can suspend him up to 4 more times, which I think would take us to the last game of the season. He'd still be on the active roster for the last game of the season.
He'd be done.
So it's classic diva receiver stuff. And the guy, look, he's in a contract year. You want to make your money. I get it. But I think this guy just thinks he's better than he is. He thinks he should be getting the money that these top receivers are getting or getting in those situations and getting the ball more. Hey, dude, you got to prove yourself.
You haven't earned it yet.
We don't have a great receiver room in Baltimore. It's not bad, but it's not great.
And we're not going to.
If you're really good, we're going to be using you. And it looks like you're just not buying in. I'm like, it's like I'm talking to him. He's not listening. But
yeah, and honestly, in somebody who does buy in, who tries to do all the little things right, is Nelson Aguilar, right? He I mean, think what you want about him. The guy works his butt off, and he's bought in. And I know he's been hanging out with Deontay Johnson, so hopefully he can get his head right. But like I said, if he does, I mean, you got to earn playing time over Nelson Aguilar at this point. I mean, the guy's making some decent plays for us out there, and he blocks well. So,
and the Ravens can't be happy with Deontay Johnson dropped 2 balls in the first game that he played.
I'm not sure.
One was a touchdown. One was right in his hands.
Yeah.
So, look, I mean, you're going to get benched for not just bench. You're going to lose snaps if you're not producing.
Yeah,
but that's just the nature of the beast. It's like everything is a results-based business. No matter if it's football or if you have a company that's got a bottom line that you work for. So suck it up, freaking Nancy. Pick up your purse. Yeah. Pick up your fucking purse. Go do your job. And then if you succeed at your job, be the best trash man. You're going to get compensated for being the best trash man. And I use an absolute ludicrous reference. But if you are the best at what you do, you're going to be compensated for it appropriately. Go out and be the best damn receiver you can possibly be, and you're going to get compensated for it. Don't be a little girl and go run away. Suck it up. You're an NFL receiver. You get paid to play a professional sport.
All right. Brian's thoughts.
All right. Story time with Brian.
Anyway, so Ravens coming off the bye have 3 games in 10 days, starting December 15th.
Here comes that
at the New York Giants. Then we play the following Thursday. Or sorry, when? No, we play Sunday. we play at New York Giants on the 15th. We play versus home against Pittsburgh on the 21st, and then we have a Wednesday game, Christmas on the 25th against Houston in Houston, and then we finish the schedule off with the Browns about 10 days after that. But 3 games in 10 days. A couple tough ones. Pittsburgh and Houston, 2 and 3 seed in, 3 and 4 seed in the AFC right now. So, they're not pushovers. The Giants, for all intents and purposes, are, but still an NFL team. I believe we lost to the Giants last year or maybe 2 years ago when we shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So
we lost to the Raiders.
We did lose to the Raiders this year, and Devontae Adams and Brock Bowers had a big hand in that. As did Justin Tucker.
Brock Bowers is a stud. Is a
yeah. That's the other topic. That we can talk about here with the bye week.
What's that?
Justin Tucker.
Oh yeah.
Thoughts here? What do we think? That's been the hot topic in Baltimore. I just want to start off by just getting your thoughts on it all, and what do you think the Ravens should do here?
Justin, go ahead.
Any other kicker in the league, they would have been cut 4 weeks ago. This guy's going into Canton at some point. He's been the best kicker in the league over the course of the last 10, 12 years, even longer than that. It sucks because we saw a little bit of it last season with a few kind of clutch misses that we hadn't seen before. We thought he had figured it out. This season's not been great. You can't cut him. I'd like to, during the bye week, I'd like to bring somebody in, maybe just say, hey, look, we're going to look at this guy. I think you still tried him out there. I still have confidence in him. I think there's a lot of people blaming the punter. But yeah, I don't know. Look, I think you really just, if you're the Ravens, you kind of just have to bank on the bounce back. I don't really think there's another play here.
Are you telling me Sam Cook couldn't go out there and just hold? He's a coach right now.
Good.
Do you want to
blaming the punter for holding?
I'm not.
For the hold.
I'm saying people are. I don't know anything about it. I don't know enough about it. I hate the punter because he went to Penn State. And he sucked at punting.
He's been terrible.
He's horrible. He didn't lose us the game last week. We had a lot of things lose us the game last week, but the special teams in general lost us the game last week, I believe. I do think the defense has been playing better though.
Look, if this goes on 2 more weeks, I think it's time to realistically be like, hey, why don't you take a back seat for the rest of the year and let's bring in somebody who we have a little bit of confidence in.
Yeah, I saw somebody say Rodrigo Blankenship.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Hot
like,
Rod.
I was like,
guy.
Hot Rod.
And the guy can't kick the ball 50 yards.
Oh, nor can Tucker 33. So
he wasn't that Rose Bowl game against.
No,
Mayfield,
well, Tucker can kick it. Tucker can kick it 60 yards. It's just, is it going to go through the uprights? I don't think Rodrigo could even kick the ball lengthwise 50 yards.
That's fine. Right now, Justin Tucker can't kick extra points, and they're 33 yards. And right now, if Justin Tucker kicked the ball from 50 yards, it probably hit a hot dog vendor.
I can't. You froze.
Perfect freezing time.
You froze. Your video's frozen.
You look great. It's a great smile you have, though. This looks like a cheeser.
Oh, there we go.
Rodrigo Blankenship. What a stud. Look at that guy.
This guy plays the same sport as DK Metcalf.
Unbelievable. He looks.
I love it. My internet's cut because the wind is winding hard. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, did you guys get an opportunity? I'm gonna transition off Tucker unless anybody else has any other comments.
Nah, go.
No, I'm with you. So I'll get my last one in here before we transition. I think you ride him right now and let him try to figure it out. But I don't disagree with Ryan here. If we get closer to playoff time and he hasn't started trending in the right direction, it might be time to bring somebody in. I don't think you cut him or anything like that.
Exactly.
I think you let him. You're going to let him figure it out, right? But
yeah,
maybe going into the playoffs, it's going to be a weird balance because if you bring somebody in, that's going to ruin his confidence as well. Mm-hmm. And all this booing and stuff, like we should be kind of getting behind him, being like, hey, let's figure this out. Yeah.
I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear this booing shit. And I heard it. And we should be ashamed for how many times we've cheered that man. I mean, I still vividly remember the 66-yard field goal in Detroit.
How many games he's won us?
Yeah.
Over his career.
So those people need to shut up. They honestly need to shut up and just take inventory of their own lives Because if you're that good at your job for forever, it's not like he's doing it on purpose. It's not like he's cheating on us.
Obviously pissed. He's obviously pissed. You see it.
He's upset. I mean, and look, I'm going to give the guy credit for a couple things. One, he's still getting run out there and trying kicks. Second, he sits in his fucking locker after the game, and he takes it like a man, and he answers questions. There's a lot to be said about that.
He says it's my fault. He goes, I feel like I cost us this game. I feel like it's my fault, and I'm pissed about it. So,
in all honesty, and I hate to say it because you never want to place blame on one guy. If he makes those 2 kicks and that extra point, we win the game. We lost by 5.
And
we win the game. And it's unfortunate because the kicker, you check the box to become a kicker. No one made him become a kicker. You own it, and he's owning it. But I agree with Brooks. You bring in another guy if this continues for another 2 weeks. You don't cut him. Give him an off season to clear his fucking head, and then let him come back next year and go lights out and watch him never miss a damn kick again. This feels like the Mike Vanderjagt thing where he missed 1 field goal when Peyton Manning said he was a liquored up kicker, and then he came back the next year and he was absolutely god awful. So I don't think that Justin Tucker's a liquored up kicker. I just think that really, wow, that's a shame for the week. I'm not very familiar with Bob Holt, but Joe, if you want to come on at some point, either today or tomorrow, or not tomorrow, next week, and talk about Bob Holt, that would be great. I'm not too familiar, but that, for a long time, that's holy moly, that's like losing like a Rex Barney or
by the
Jim
way,
Palmer.
Something we didn't do at the top of the show that we should have done. Happy birthday, Delaware Dave!
Oh shit! Yeah,
it's Deli's birthday.
Yeah, I hope you're watching, Deli. I hope you, if you were watching, hope this message gets to you at any point, though. But you're the man. We love you. You brought us all together. In that God's sake bar that we don't talk about, you were the one.
In that Voldemort. It's the Voldemort bar now.
Yeah,
the Voldemort bar.
Yeah, the Slytherin bar. But yeah, happy birthday, Delaware. You're the man.
Deli.
But yeah, I mean, just what Brian was saying. Like the guy just sat there and took it like a man the entire time, and literally said it was his fault. Like accountability is a big deal, and for him to sit there and just take it on the chin and take responsibility, even though he could easily say blame it on this or that, or I'm trying to figure this or that out. He just sat there and took it like a man. And we don't know if he's injured or not either. I mean, that's just something we haven't talked about. I mean, he could easily say like, oh, I got something going on here or there, put blame on something. He just said, it's my fault. I need to be better. So that goes a long way, I think, with fans. I hope it does with us at least.
Yeah.
Oh, look what we got here.
Look who we got in here.
Hey, Joe, what up, man?
Hello, gentlemen.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy. Hey, Joe, why don't you tell us a little bit about, is it Bob Holt? I don't want to be rude here. It just popped up for a minute. So I know the last name was Holt. You want to talk about the Arkansas Razorback commentator?
Yeah, he was a beat writer for the Razorbacks for the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. 91. 65. Wow. Apparently, he had a health issue after the press conference on Saturday in Missouri. Went to the hospital and did not recover from it. So, graduate of the University of Missouri. So he actually got to cover a game at his alma mater as his last game and go out. Yes, Razorbacks unfortunately didn't win, but I guess it was a toss-up for him as a Missouri grad, whether it was good or not. But unfortunate, 65 years old.
Yeah, I mean that, and you just go to the hospital at 65. You never think that you're not going to come out of the hospital, right? That's scary.
It was some sort of health issue. He was going up from the closet that is the Missouri press room to the press box to write his story and send it in, and had a health issue. Went to the hospital and just didn't recover.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I feel bad for his partners that he's been on. There's another guy. All these guys that wrote for the Democrat Gazette have been the beat writers for the Razorbacks for like an eternity. So they all travel together. They all room together. So I really feel bad for those guys that were very close to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough to go back to work after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to go right back to work this week. So
obviously feel bad for his family and all of his friends. All that kind of stuff. That always sucks.
I mean, I don't read the paper, so I really wasn't familiar with them. I don't get a subscription to the Gazette because I just have no use for it outside of sports, and I get all that on the internet for free. So y'all can take this wind.
I was gonna say it's a little. It's not that bad. I can hear it though. I can hear it outside of my window right now.
It's breezy, and it's like
my internet keeps cutting in and out. That's why I keep on leaving.
42.
But anyway, look at there he is. It's the birthday boy himself, Mr. Delaware.
Oh, we gotta get him unmuted. Deli, you're muted right now. I can't unmute you. You need Brian there. Brian's got to unmute him, but.
Oh my God.
Joe, meet the legend, Delaware Dave.
What's up, dude?
Delaware Dave.
What's happening?
Happy birthday, Deli. What are you doing today?
I'm trying not to get blown away. I lost a couple pounds, and it's blowing so hard I might get taken out to sea.
You're not as sturdy anymore.
That's right. I'm a little more flimsy.
Yeah.
Take us away.
I like that. Where'd you get it?
What's going on? Where are we at in this podcast?
We're finishing up. We're just wrapping up.
Joe Rackey's our first member of all time.
Oh, yeah, I watched him the other day.
Yeah, Arkansas guy. We're talking about a gentleman for a beat writer who passed away since 1981, you said, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, we're all just trying to not get blown away by the wind, and we're trying to celebrate your birthday here, Deli.
I like it.
Del, for his birthday present, is going to pay for his truck repair. Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to me.
Nice.
Happy birthday. Truck repairs aren't cheap. Trust me.
Joe knows all about those truck repairs.
Yeah.
Well,
Joe one time called me. He had two tires.
I've done that.
Luckily, I don't have to pay for the Red Bull truck repairs, but on my Ford, it definitely gets pricey.
I had 2 flats in the same day. Not fun. I'll tell that story later.
Oh man.
It was fun.
Well, happy
all right,
birthday,
boys.
Deli.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
I'll
buddy.
see you boys soon. This guy.
I'll be over in a minute.
Joe,
Happy birthday, Dave.
Joe, thanks for joining us.
Hey, Joe.
Have fun in the wind out there in Arkansas, and you stay safe out there.
Screw that win.
Enjoy your
Screw the
weekend.
win, man.
See you, Joe. Be good, buddy.
See you, Joe.
You the man, Joe.
This
All right,
win, I
I'll
think
be over in a minute, bud.
I think it's
Turn
high
that
time for
turn
us
that
to
silver
finish.
knob.
I think it's high time for us to finish up this pod here.
right.
We're doing we're going to be doing a couple pods next week. Like Brooks said, we're going to be doing one with Pigtown on Wednesday. That's going to be at 1:30, 2 o'clock sometime on Wednesday. We'll announce that before we go. It'll probably be 15 minutes late because of this dude on the right side of your screen. But I mean, maybe it won't. Who knows?
I'm going to show up 15 minutes early, and I'm going to dog you the entire time. But let it go
I
live.
hope
15
you
minutes
do.
early.
It would be the first time ever.
Shut your fucking yapper. Hey, I do want to ask you guys one more question before we shut down. And thank you for the debrief there. Did anyone get a chance to watch the Hard Knocks, the AFC North Hard Knocks?
Watched last night.
That's what that's my plan for today because it's windy as shit and I'm not going outside.
All right, so I guess we'll hold that. We'll hold all that stuff till next week. That way, Dusty gets a chance to go ahead and look at everything. But so far, so good. I really liked it. It drops on Tuesdays, Wednesdays.
Tuesday. Yeah. Yeah.
So
because I think I was at work. Anyway, I'm gonna watch that and but next week we're gonna go on Monday like normal. We're gonna go on Thursday like normal, but we're gonna add the Wednesday show like I just said. That's gonna be with Pigtown Sports, and that's gonna be about 1:32, and that's gonna be baseball, basically baseball only, unless we get some breaking news or something like that. We'll talk about that at the top.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna talk winter meetings. We're gonna talk hopefully maybe a Juan Soto deal is done by then. Or maybe a Corbin Burns deal back to Baltimore. No, we got a lot of stuff to look forward to. We'll get Pigtown's opinion on where the maybe the top free agents are going to go, what he thinks they're going to command. And he's incredibly knowledgeable, like we've said before. So he does a great job with that. So if you're baseball guys, Wednesday would be your show. Monday, we'll recap the NFL action. We'll talk about the Hard Knock stuff, and we'll talk about what's going on during the Ravens bye week. And then Thursday, like we always do, we will do our picks. I'm going to be flying to Indiana on Thursday, so we're going to have to figure out what time we're going to do that. I think it'll probably be later in the afternoon because I think I fly out at 6 a.m., something like that. Anyway, we'll figure that out next week. But thank you guys for joining us, and happy birthday to Delaware Dave.
Happy birthday, Delaware Dave. Like I always say, the reason I do this podcast is because I have two friends who care about me and love me, and I love them. So if you ever need help, mental health wise, please reach out to us, your friends, talk to somebody. Thank you again to NAMI coming on earlier in the week. Check out NAMI, N-A-M-I, as NAMI.org, I think it was, Brooks. So I know we had it on the ticker that day. Yep. There's also phone numbers associated with that. Reach out to people. It was this past Tuesday. It was called Giving Tuesday. So, mental health is a big thing for all of us. We've had a lot of friends go through it. So please take care of yourselves. All right. You're better. If you being a better person makes other people better around you.
Yep, I agree. Joe wants to know who won the snake draft. So far, it's pretty neck and neck for the sides one, the Thanksgiving sides, is the one we put out. I think it's neck and neck between me and Brian, maybe?
It's definitely not me. Mine's terrible.
I think it's me and Brian are neck and neck. I gotta check the results of that. And then we have the new one set to come out today at some point, I believe.
Coming out in 1 hour, actually. It's scheduled to come out at 1 o'clock. And that's our Christmas movie one. And I took a little bit of a liberty. And so did Brian, but
someone brought this up to me yesterday. Is Hook a Christmas movie? I didn't think about that at all. So if we say yes, well, because it's set during Christmas when old Robin Williams,
it's only like I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I didn't think about it.
It's not a Christmas movie per se, but there's Christmas in it. Just like Die Hard and just like Harry Potter.
So it's a Christmas
whatever. Brooks was driving. He didn't police us, so we're fine.
Yeah.
Also, on the graphic that's coming out, John McClane is wearing a Santa hat. I made that happen. So
I saw that. That was awesome. That's the first thing I saw. I was like, "Thank you so much."
Son of a
anyway,
just so you know, we're doing all Christmas themed for our drafts this month. So if you have one that you want us to do, reach out or shoot us a note or something like that. We're more than willing to do those if they're a good idea. If we can actually get 15 draft picks out of it. That's the whole
Christmas songs. Christmas songs are going to be up there.
I think we can do maybe movie characters or just Christmas characters in general, so we can use Frosty the Snowman, Rudolph.
Maybe we put a vote out, Dustin. Maybe we make a graphic of different like a bunch of different Christmas themed drafts we can do and have people vote on that too.
Yeah,
that would be a good idea. Cool.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in. This has been another episode of Gary Williams Stole My Lawn Furniture. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Subscribe, do all that stuff. Become one of our Huckleberries if you want to do that. Thank you to Pig and Rooster. Thank you to the Chaucer for always having our back.
Chesapeake Wine Company. We're going to work with Do a Beer Company hopefully here soon. Yeah. So look, got a lot of things in the works. Can't wait to see everybody on Monday. We
might have a new special segment or a new special show, maybe once or twice a month, that we're adding. And then we definitely have two really cool shows coming up here in the next month with both Dusty and Brian respectively. So we'll announce that once it gets a little closer, but that's going to be a lot of fun if it ends up working out the way we want.
A lot of Indiana trips happening between Dusty and I coming out to hang out with Brooks. We're going to have some fun action, literally physical action packed shows. It's going to be great.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys.
Couple lefties.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. Be good. Take care. See you.
Cheers.
Cheers.